Hi everyone, welcome once again to my channel. It's your boy Luis Portelles, and for today's video we are going to be talking, or should I say analyzing, the top 5 Q&A segment of Miss Supranational 2023. There have been a lot of people requesting me to review this video precisely because a lot of people have different theories of what should have happened, whether they agree or not with the answers. So today we're going to be dissecting every single one of them, and I will give you, as usual, my honest opinion about everything that went down during this particular segment. If you enjoyed this video, you know what to do. Go ahead and drop a like on this video, leave a comment, of course, to be part of the conversation, and most importantly, subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss out on my new uploads, which I do almost every single day. So, I won't keep you waiting much longer. I'll see you with my full analysis right after the intro.
Be strong.
Alright, here we go.
We give a chance to our fantastic 5 to take it all in. Let's make some noise for the 7 ladies who unfortunately did not advance. We wish you all the very best for the future. You are all amazing.
Okay, so before we get into the Q&A, I just want to add something. Because I was there present during this particular moment, I will say that the energy in the room was pretty positive. You know how sometimes the audience is not happy with the top 5 or the outcome of a certain cut? I feel like for the most part, they were really happy with the ladies who made the top 5. Of course, Filipino fans were over the moon. I feel like Ecuador also had like a strong support system. The only lady that people were talking about that they wish they would have seen in the top 5 was Miss Peru, as well as Miss Zimbabwe, who unfortunately did not place higher. But for the most part, everyone was really happy. So let's see how they did during Q&A.
Okay. Now I want to invite on stage our hosts, and they have the noise-cancelling earphones. They're going to be placing those on the ears of our 5 finalists, and they're also going to be drawing their numbers out of this fishbowl to then determine in random order who is going to be answering first. That way we're giving equal opportunities to all of our finalists. So we all know that speaking in front of an audience is difficult. Hold on, sir, while I ask the question. The question I'm going to ask is, and just remember, ladies, I'm going to ask you the question. I'll ask you the question when you take the earphones off one by one.
Ooh.
This is not about giving the perfect answer. This is about authenticity. That is exactly what we are looking for. And so we want to give you a chance to answer your question. The question is going to be quite simple.
Okay, before they get into the question, I just want to bring your attention to something that the host just mentioned. They are not looking for the best answer. They're looking for authenticity. I believe this is true because this is something that we were told so many times, so often during the Supranational experience. This wasn't something that they just came up with during finals. This was like one of the key words, key sentences that we heard ever since we landed in Poland. At least that was for the misters. I don't know for the miss, but for the misters we heard this every single day. So I'm not surprised. So far, there's nothing shocking here.
What makes a good brand ambassador for this organization? So we're going to ask them that question when they take off their earphones. They have 40 seconds to answer that. And then we're going to find out who is able to think on their feet. So please show us your numbers.
Okay, I'm heading on to Miss United Kingdom to answer the question first. You can take your headphones now.
All right, there we go.
Miss United Kingdom, your question is, what makes a great brand ambassador for the Miss Supranational organization?
Deep breath and go.
I believe the quality that is required of a great brand ambassador is relatability. I think that I have stood on this stage. I stand here with the message that our experiences in life don't have to define us, but they can strengthen us. This is a message that I want to take globally. I want to continue to work with women across the globe, to continue to support and empower them through the obstacles that they have had to overcome in life. And I think that this, mixed with my own story, is the relatability is what makes an incredible brand ambassador and someone that will make people not only feel seen but also heard. And I think this is the power of a beauty queen.
Thank you so much, Miss United Kingdom.
All right, so let's talk about Miss United Kingdom's answer. I think that this was arguably one of the best answers of the night. She was super clear with her message, and what I really like about her is that she was able to justify with her own example, you know. She didn't just make it about like this like aspirational answer or like inspiring people, but she mentioned that herself being on that stage, she wanted to be, you know, an example for others and inspire them being a role model herself. There isn't much to criticize in terms of, you know, the eloquence, in terms of the substance of the answer. Even the structure was pretty cohesive considering that, you know, this is just a question that they give you on the spot. Maybe I will indicate that she seemed to be a little nervous, which is normal. I mean, this is the top 5 Q&A, so this is like make it or break it type of deal for the crown. So I don't blame her for being nervous. I will also highlight, you know, at this particular point, this is besides, you know, apart from Miss UK's answer. I was there in this particular room, so the moment that I hear the question that they will be asking to each one of the ladies is the same question for everyone. I thought there is no reason why any of these girls shouldn't be able to answer this question, because in other words, they're asking them, why should you be the next Miss Supranational? You know, why do you have what it takes to be the next title holder? And this is something that in pageantry, this is like a very stereotypical question. Everyone who has ever joined a pageant, they rehearse and rehearse and rehearse and rehearse and learn how to answer this question of why you should be the next title holder. So for me, I thought this is gonna be really a very specific segment, because everyone is gonna come up with a very elaborate and in a way almost planned answer. So anyways, going back to Miss UK, I thought that she did amazing considering those things that I just told you. Let's move on now. Next one.
40 seconds used very well.
Okay, I'm heading to Philippines. You can take your headphones off
Philippines.
now.
Your question is, what makes a great brand ambassador for the Miss Supranational organization? They start now.
Your time starts now.
It would be dedication. Dedication to this journey, dedication to the people who have brought her up to this journey, and dedication, of course, with the organization that she'll end up working with. This is such a beautiful experience, and she has to be someone who can bring people together, someone who knows that this is not a one-woman journey. We all have our differences, but we also realize that we have so much in common, and we are now gathered here on this stage, transcending our own borders, bringing nations together. Thank you.
Well done.
All right, so this was, of course, as well, arguably one of the best answers of the night. Not that I look back on this, right? Not just going from memory, but actually listening to the answers. I remember that, you know, following Miss UK, this was a very strong beginning for the Q&A segment because both of them did very, very well. Now, let's talk a little bit about Pauline. I actually just had a reaction to her full performance yesterday here on the channel. So if you guys have not watched that, go and check it out. But I want to expand a little bit more on her Q&A segment. As I said yesterday, all of those things still apply to Pauline, you know, super eloquent, super confident, all of those things. I did feel like in the very beginning, her voice was shaking a little bit. I don't know if it was just the nerves or, you know, the moment. Maybe she was feeling emotional. I don't know. Initially, I thought, you know, the last time that Pauline was on stage answering Q&A was at Miss Universe Philippines. And then some people were criticizing her answer during the particular time. So maybe, you know, it's kind of like being back on that spot must be a little bit nerve-wracking. But anyways, Pauline definitely excelled when it comes to her answer. So on yesterday's video, there were a few comments that I actually took into consideration and that made me reflect a little bit about her answer. Although Pauline's answer was super, super strong and, you know, she perfectly answered the question pretty much. I don't think that at any point during her answer, she mentioned anything that will make it personal. Like she didn't apply the question to herself. She didn't include herself within her answer. That's what I'm trying to say. So she gave an answer that it is transferable to other people. meaning that whoever would have answered that during the coronation night would have been, you know, very good, excellent. So I think that if we were providing some sort of like feedback to Pauline, it will be to maybe just include something personal that will make the answer unique to her own context, to her own scenario, and that wouldn't make it transferable to anyone else. But again, we're just looking for the minor details here. Pauline, as I said, arguably one of the best answers of the night, but don't worry, we're gonna talk about the other three ladies that are just about to answer, and then at the end, we'll talk about who had the best answer of the night. Also, I want you to keep in mind the initial instructions from the host when she said, we are not looking for the best answer, we are looking for the most authentic. All right, let's go.
Number three. Who's
Number three?
Number three, I see Miss Brazil. Apologies. Miss
All right,
Brazil.
let's go, Miss Brazil.
Take your headphones off.
Miss Brazil, your question. What makes a great brand ambassador for the Miss Supranational organization? 40 seconds. Use them well, please.
Are you ready? We're gonna need a translator for that.
All right.
Thank you very much. Please do repeat the question and answer.
Miss Brasil, o que faria de você uma excelente embaixadora para essa marca Miss Supranational?
Good evening, everyone. My personality. My personality is something that I can say is something different, powerful, and I am totally able to work with a powerful organization to continue this amazing job to inspire women from all over the world. I am a leader. I know who I am. I know what I want. I am a free woman, and I am totally able to motivate people and to inspire people from all over the world to work together and to fight for their dreams and for their fight.
Thank you very much. I know it's
All right.
all the stress, but you did great. Thank you.
All right, Miss Brazil. First of all, I want to say I have the pleasure to meet her in person alongside Mr. Brazil and the national director for the Brazilian organization. All of them were amazing people. So I just want to say that, you know, I'm really in awe of this woman. Now, when it comes to the Q&A, I have mixed feelings, if I'm being honest. The first mixed feeling that I have is, first of all, the entire translator thing, because we had to wait for a moment for her to get the translator, but once she had the translator, she was able to answer the question in a very eloquent way. So deep down, I don't feel like she needed a translator. You know, I think that I would have appreciated a lot more the answer if she would just, you know, go for it and just try her best. Again, it's her right to have a translator, so I'm not, you know, bashing her for that or anything like that. I respect that, but I think that she was prepared enough, eloquent enough, and she understood English enough for her to just go for it. The second thing that I wanted to mention about Miss Brazil is that I am not sure if it was an issue with the translation. Maybe the translator gave her, you know, the wrong question or worded it in a way that made it confusing for her, but the answer that she provided was not about the qualities of an ambassador, like the best qualities that an ambassador for Supranational should have. She actually made it about herself. So if you remember a little bit of the critique that I gave for Pauline when I said that she provided an answer that was applicable to anyone and didn't make it personal at the end, I think that for Miss Brazil, it was quite the opposite. She made it about herself and then kind of forgot to, you know, answer the question that was to answer what are the qualities that an ambassador should have, not just your particular case. I think that if we put that aside and we will just focus on the answer that she provided, she still named some amazing elements, you know, being a leader, you know, caring for others and all those things that she mentioned within the answer. However, I think that you could feel the nerves and you could feel that she was just trying to come up with the answers as she goes. You know, at the end of the day, I do believe that there was a little bit of a language barrier. Although I'm sure that she understood the question and she knew where she was going with the answer, you could feel that there was a little bit of a struggle. You could see that especially in the end of the answer when she was trying to come up with the final word and couldn't quite get it, and then at the end they just rang the bell, so she couldn't continue. But overall, she tried her best. I mean, looking back at her full performance, for me, she was one of the best of this year, and we cannot diminish that just based on the final Q&A, right? So there you go. Let's keep watching now.
Thank you so much. Number 4. Yes.
Ecuador.
All right,
There we go.
Ecuador.
Your headphone is going to be removed.
Here we go.
Now you're going to hear the questions and you're going to have 40 seconds to answer.
Miss Ecuador, what makes a great brand ambassador for the Miss Supranational organization?
Are you ready? Deep breath.
Okay.
And go.
Oh my God, for me, work with Miss Supranational organization would be the greatest honor of my life. I could travel around the world carrying its legacy. I would really love to start my own foundation to help single moms to find employment. But one of the most important things for me, the Miss Supranational platform, makes me accomplish one of the biggest dreams of my life. This studying medicine by my own funds, become a doctor, and continue helping people. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Miss.
All right. Let's talk about Miss Ecuador's answer. And I'm gonna give you the truth, okay? The honest truth, no sugarcoating. While I was there at the venue, I didn't like the answer. I thought this was possibly one of the weakest answer of the batch up until this particular moment, because I mean, I've never heard an answer in pageantry where the contestant starts by saying, oh my God, like for me, that already took me so much out of my comfort zone. And I felt like, yeah, this is not polished. This is not very, that's not the standard of Q&A that I would expect on the stage of Supranational. However, and now this is where things get a little bit more technical and where we need to take into consideration the entire experience. Going back to what the host said in the very beginning, they're not looking for the best answer, they're looking for authenticity. When you listen to her answer, I do believe that she has one of the most authentic answers of the night. I mean, first of all, she started by saying, I want to be the next, I want to be the next Miss Supranational because I want to travel. Everyone does that. I mean, while I was at Supranational and we were talking between the boys, one of the main reasons that people wanted to win titles because all of us want to travel, not just because of the luxury of traveling and, having it sponsored by the organization, but because you get to know different countries, different cultures, work on your social cause abroad, but at the end of the day, you're still traveling for free. Like, who doesn't want that? She also mentioned that she wanted to use the funds of the competition because she wanted to become a doctor. So already, I still felt like she's making it very authentic. It's like it's very real. It's very relatable. She's not telling you or coming up with a story that, I want to use this money to give back to the communities. And no, it's real. Like, I want to get this money because I want to study and help my family. And the last thing, she mentioned that she wanted to start an organization on the spot. When I was there, I felt like, what? Like, you haven't started the organization yet? For me, usually that's a big no-no. If you go to a pageant being like, I want to do, but I haven't done it, and I'm here and I haven't done it, but I want to do it later. For me, that's a big no-no. But again, I think that it just played in her favor when it comes to the authenticity. She didn't try to hide it. She didn't try to come up with, like a crazy solution. She just mentioned her goals. Was it the most eloquent answer? No. Was it the most polished or, put together, best structured answer that you have ever heard on the stage of Supranational? Definitely not. But you cannot argue with the fact that it's definitely one of the most authentic ones. All right, let's keep watching because we still have Miss Vietnam.
And the last but not least, okay, Miss Vietnam, you're going to hear the question and you're going to have 40 seconds to answer. Are you ready for the question?
Miss Vietnam, what makes a great brand ambassador for the Miss Supranational organization?
40 seconds start now.
Today, I'm standing here
I'm ready to take on this responsibility of being next Miss Supranational by pursuing for community and be an example of inspiring women, not only in my country, but also around the world. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. It's all very emotional for them. Please give them a round of applause.
All right, let's talk about Miss Vietnam's answer. I think that she tried her best. I think that it was a very genuine answer. There is definitely a language barrier. So if I was Miss Vietnam, I would have requested 100% a translator. You know, this is one of the clear cases where I felt like, you know, she might have benefited from having a translator, contrary to this case of Miss Brazil, where I felt like she could clearly understand the question and she could clearly answer it as well. Now, I think that, first of all, there was a little bit of hesitation with all of that coughing during the answer, so that definitely took away from the experience. It was a very simple answer as well for Miss Vietnam, so that also takes away from the experience, and I'm sure that the scoring that the judges are doing here during the finals. And the last thing, honestly, I don't know if this might have played against her, but I know for a fact that the people at Supranational don't really like it when contestants get like overly emotional. And that's not like a bad thing, you know, it's not saying that they don't want to see you cry or anything. If it's fully genuine, that's fine. But if it comes across as overly dramatic, or if it comes across as like you're trying too hard, it might play against you. Now, it seems genuine for her. I'm not saying that it's not, but I'm not sure if maybe that played against her. Especially when we're talking about these things, what they would expect of a title holder is someone who is able to keep it together, especially publicly, especially when talking about sensitive matters. We get it, that is very personal, that is very sensitive, but they want a title holder to keep it together. All right. So looking back at this entire experience, one thing that I will tell you, one of the insights that I can give you about Supranational and how they select their winners is finals doesn't determine necessarily who wins. When they say, if you go back on their Instagram, they had a post saying that this is the Supranational experience. It's from beginning to end. The contestants are evaluated, they are scored, they are observed from the moment that they arrive at the airport. This is true. For all of the activities, we were always with people, with chaperones, the drivers, the staff at the hotel, the people who clean our rooms. It's all the time. There is never a downtime. They look at how punctual you are, they look at your attitude towards others, they look how you behave, they look, you know, if you fight back when they give you instructions. Everything counts. I even heard rumors that they would ask, for example, the people who clean our rooms while we are away to check if we are like deorganized. And when you think about it, it all makes sense because they are not just trying to pick the most beautiful person or, you know, the most like the tallest or the thinnest. They're looking for a brand ambassador that will be able to represent them internationally. So if they send you to a country to represent them and then there you are being rude to the staff, that doesn't look good on them. Or if you have a mess in your room, that doesn't look good on them. If you are always late, that doesn't look good on them. So truly, finals, it's kind of a graduation. Look at it this way. They all compete and they all try their best all throughout the experience, and finals is the graduation where they formally announce the winner. Now, to answer the main question of this entire video, who had the best answer of the night? So, in terms of eloquence, I'm going to say in terms of how they answer the question, for me, the best two answers of the night were definitely Philippines and UK. I thought that both of them had great answers to the question with the standard of what we would expect on this type of stage, especially the caliber of pageant that Miss Supranational is. Both of them were going head to head. I think that Miss UK was able to, you know, answer the question and add a little bit of her story in there. Pauline gave a very, you know, aspirational, inspirational answer, very on brand for Miss Supranational. But in terms of authenticity, which was the main thing that was talked about during the beginning of the Q&A portion, I do believe, I still feel like Ecuador was the one who spoke from the heart. Like, she didn't sugarcoat it. She said, I want to travel, I want to start an organization, and I want to get that money to pay for my education. I mean, fairly simple if you ask me. So anyways, I am going to wait for you guys to let me know in the comment section, how do you feel about this entire thing? I know that people have mixed emotions, so I will have a lot of fun reading you guys in the comment section. If you enjoyed this type of videos and content, don't forget to hit the like button, of course, so that it gets recommended to more people, and subscribe to the channel so that you stay on top of all of my new uploads. Until I see you next time, you guys, please stay safe, be kind to one another, sending you all my love, all my kisses, and I'll see you on the next one.